Hello everyone, my name is Alex and today in this video we're going to talk about the simple present. The simple present is the first subject that you are going to see on English because it's also the easiest way to conjugate a verb and it's the most used almost all the time. There are different uses for the simple present. The first one is when something is generally true. For example, the planet Earth spins around the sun. That is a truth, a scientific fact, something that either way you look at it is going to be true. There's nothing else more than that. Other examples. All the planets in the solar system spins around the sun. Other one is the water starts evaporating when you boil it. The other uses of the simple present is when you do something with a certain frequency. And in this situation we use the frequency adverbs such as always, often, sometimes, or never. Each one depending on how frequently you do a situation. For example, I always get up at 7 in the morning. Or another one. I never eat cheese. Other examples could be my mother sometimes does the laundry on Saturdays. Other uses for the simple present is when an event is scheduled. For example, my English class starts at 11:15 in the morning. Another example, the soccer match starts at 8:30 in the morning. And another example, my next class starts at 3:45 in the afternoon. Other examples of uses for the simple present is when there exists a sequence of events. For example, your daily routines. In my case, on Saturdays, first I get up, then after that I clean my room, after that I make breakfast, then I eat my breakfast. After that, I do the laundry. I do my clothes and all that stuff. And you can carry on with that, all your daily routines for every single day. Now, for the structure of the simple present, we can use the commonly known subject, verb plus complement. But the thing with the subject is that if the subject is in a third person, for example, he, she, or it, we add the letter S to the verb. Now in the verb, we commonly use the base form, which is the verb itself. We don't have to confuse ourselves with the infinitive, which has the preposition to. For example, in the verb to be, the word be is the base form, only the base form. Now, when we say to be, that is an infinitive. Talking about the base forms, there are only two verbs which change completely when we conjugate them to form the simple present. In other words, When there is a third person, we usually add the letter S to the base form. But in this case, no. The base forms changed completely. Those verbs are the verbs to be and to have. As we know, the verb to be never uses the base form. There are other conjugated forms of it, such as am for the first person, are for usually the second person, and the plural pronouns, and the is for the third person. Now with the verb to have, it has the base form for all the pronouns except for the third person ones. When we say that we add the letter S to the base form when we form the simple present sentences, that is in most cases, because there are exceptions. When the verb ends in the letter O, such as go or do, we add the letters ES to the verb. For example, he goes to the pharmacy when he is sick. Or my sister does the dishes every single Sunday. Other examples of exceptions is when the verb ends in a syllabites. These specific sounds. For those is the verbs ending in CH, SH, in S, or X. For example, my mother punishes me when I do something wrong. My father watches TV every night. My sister kisses her boyfriend. Or my neighbor boxes all his stuff when he is going on a trip. Other exception is when the verb ends in the letter Y. In that case, we change the letter Y for the letter I, such in verbs as cry or deny. For example, my nephew cries every time something bothers him. Or the police denies my driver's license. But there are exceptions to this rule, or we can call it that way. Those verbs that we mentioned have a consonant before the letter Y. Cry has the letter R, and deny has the letter N. But there are other verbs that ends in the letter Y that have a vocal before, such as play or pray. Both have the letter A before the letter Y. In that case, we just put the letter S. We do not change the letter Y for an I, nothing like that. We just add the letter S. For example, he plays soccer every single time that he can. Or my grandmother prays every single morning. That specifically would be the basics for the simple present. There is nothing else that I have to say. So with all that being said, goodbye.